Hey guys, today we are joined by Goldy. Hello sir, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good. How are you guys doing?
We're good, man, as good as we can be. We're on a total lockdown at the moment, so we're doing as good as we can. How are things over there for you?
Probably a little better than it's going for you, but I don't know. I think we're on the verge of things maybe starting to get back to normal, hopefully. But
yeah, it's a bit hard to tell at the moment because back in like August time, I think for us, August, September, we were back in the pub. Things started to seem a little bit more normal, and now we're on our third lockdown in the last 10 months. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this is the last one, and now the vaccination's coming out, we'll start to turn the corner a bit. But I guess at the moment, all we've got to do is interview. So we've got plenty of spare time to speak to people like yourself. But what have you been doing to fill the time? I mean, I'm sure you're not wrestling as often as usual.
yeah, we're still training pretty much the normal amount. We're not doing as much contact stuff as we would, but
yeah,
there's so much you can do in wrestling: promos, videos, talking, whatever.
Yeah,
It doesn't need to be contact stuff.
Have you been focusing on like anything that you've wanted some time to improve before? Like a lot of wrestlers we've spoken to have taken this time to like work on something they're not as strong at.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I can work on. But I've been using this time a lot to make videos, to social media,
Awesome.
try to get my name out there a little more, and it's working a bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We like I say, I'll mention him now. Colin spoke very highly of you as well. So we wanted to reach out. We've had Colin on a few times now. He's become almost a regular now. And he's our longest recording because he talks for about an hour before we talk about wrestling. And it's so much fun, but he had so much praise for you. So, I mean, before we talk, obviously, Monster Factory and stuff, what's it like you've been working with Colin and Synergy?
It's great. The only reason I ended up working with him, or the only reason he actually knows who I was because of all the stuff I would do just to help out with the show. Because I'm big on being, I don't like to use it because it's not such a good term in wrestling, but being a good hand.
Yeah.
Being able to do everything, always being there, always just being there, being able to do anything. So I was always there at Synergy shows, helping set up, helping whatever, and that's how he really got to know me.
There's nothing wrong with that though, mate. Like if you're a good hand and you're always regularly available to help out, that's how a lot of people get bookings or get realized by the promoter. So it's obviously worked for you. So there's no shame in that.
Yeah, but actually he's a really good guy. Working with him's great. Really cares about his wrestlers.
Yeah.
Really cares about me, about trying to get me over, giving me the chances that he has. So I appreciate everything he's done.
Yeah, it seems to allow you a lot of creativity as well. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, and even more than just giving me creativity, pitching creative ideas for me to get me over.
Colin ever come at you with his old love of British sitcoms and television? Or have you been saved from that conversation?
I've been saved from that so far. So
right, remind us to message him later to come at you with that.
Yeah, thanks.
I think that was literally the first hour of the conversation when we first got him on.
It was the first hour and a half. We didn't speak about wrestling for nearly 2 hours.
All right, my AirPods are connected now.
Awesome.
We're all good. We're back.
We're back. Cool. Well, Jimmy, if you want to bring us, just start talking about whatever.
I'll just mention the creative bit again, and then you can edit that, can't you? So
I'll find a way.
Yeah. All right. So, Goldy, as I was saying, What's it like, obviously, with Colin and the creative freedom that he gives you? Because he gives a lot of that, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's great working with Colin because he does give all of his wrestlers a lot of creative freedom. He lets you do what you want in obviously the realm of what he wants. But what's also great is him pitching his own creative ideas. Like for the wrestlers, like he pitched an idea for me at my last Synergy show, which got me some good heat. And like he pitched, if you watch me coming out, me going, no, I didn't like how you announced that, restart it.
Yeah.
And then have my whole entrance again, which is good because the Synergy fans didn't really know me. I had like one tag team match. It was just like a Monster Factory spotlight match. But I think that was perfect to be like, okay, this guy's a jerk.
Yeah, it kind of gets across your character really quickly,
Right.
doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
this guy is such a perfectionist and thinks so much of himself. His entrance has to be perfect, or he's going to do it again. So, I really like that.
Yeah. We spoke to Casey Catal a few weeks ago. She said something similar. She said that Colin he has this gift where he can do things like that, these little things where he just comes out with things. So it's good to get obviously your take as well. But talking about the last Synergy show, you faced evil Kip Stevens. What was that like, the show, obviously facing Kip Stevens? How do you think the show went?
I love Kip. I mean, no, I hate Kip, but I love Kip. He's a really good guy. I've known him, but I haven't really known him. Like I haven't had talks with him or anything, but like he's always been at like Monster Factory shows. Really respected guy, and he's been doing it, knows what he's doing, and also just a really nice guy. So working with him was perfect.
Yeah, and honestly, he called himself Evil Kip Stevens, but I think we might have to put a tweet out later, Callum, and have a word with Dan Housen, and we'll get those two going at each other. We'll see who's really evil, because I want to see that. Going back to the start, honestly, because I know you're only, is it 20? You're
20.
So old.
Callum's shaking his head because you met me. Callum's 32 and I'm 36, so you've made us feel very old today. But going back to you, Jane, obviously, Monster Factory, how did that come about? Because we've had a few people on from there, and it's a lot of people don't realise the history of that place. So what was it like for you? How did you come about Monster Factory and the training there?
So it goes back to when I was like 5 years old. Like if you go look at my social media, my most recent post, there was a video, and there are clips of me like wrestling at the Monster Factory when I was literally 5 years old, because of birthday parties. I had a birthday party there when I was 5, back when it was in a different location with literally like a boxing ring and Bart Simpson painted on the wall, whatever, just stupid stuff. It wasn't a great place, but it has history, and I always knew about it. I knew about its history. I always wanted to be a wrestler, and I'm like, oh, Big Show went there, Sheamus. I'm like, perfect.
It's one of those places that has, like Jamie said, such a history, and I don't think people realize the talent that's come out of there and how good the trainers are at the Monster Factory. If you was to ask me, I obviously have never trained at either of them before, but if you had to ask me what the two best training schools in America are, by the sounds of it, it's the Monster Factory and Black and Brave. Those two sound like the top training places. So for you getting to train there, do you feel like you got a bit of a head start with like how good the quality of training was?
Yeah, I believe so. I agree. I think it's one of the best, if not the best school there is in the world. I think the training, it's not just wrestling training. Like I said before, about being able to do everything. It's because they teach you to do everything, whether it's reffing, it's wrestling, it's commentary, it's doing the music in the back. It's literally everything. So if you go somewhere, you can help. You're not going to be just a bag carrier. You'll be a good hand.
It also helps you respect every part that goes into a show as well.
You really pay your dues.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to Chaz Williams a few weeks ago from Monster Factory, and like he said the same. Said, he trained and I was on the commentary team, and he the respect he had for the Monster Factory was wonderful to see and hear from him. But talking to Monster Factory as well, obviously we have to talk about Danny Cage. What was it like being trained with someone of Danny's caliber? Because I think he's a guy who's very underrated in what he can do.
Yeah. Dan is a great guy. I mean, he's like almost like a second father figure to me.
Mm.
Like he's always there. He's more than a trainer. He's more than a coach. He'll be there for literally everything. You can call him anytime. He'll help you. He's just great. And then also he's a great wrestling trainer. He knows what he's talking about. He has connections. He talks to people in the WWE a lot. He knows what they want. He's worked at other companies that we won't talk about anymore, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, actually, when we had Chaz on, Chaz was saying as well, the thing with Danny is he's not afraid to tell you when you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Have you had that chat from Danny before?
Oh yeah, yes, many times. That's what makes him so good, I think, because you can go to a lot of schools and they'll kiss your butt. They'll tell you you're great. They'll tell you, "Oh, good job, you did this," but you suck. There's so many schools like that. It's pretty much, "Hey, come pay us, and you can come play in a ring."
Yeah.
Here, it's come pay us. If you suck, I'm gonna tell you suck, but I'm gonna make you good. Dan doesn't care about the money. I mean, obviously everyone cares about the money because you have bills to pay, but he cares about the people a lot more than he cares about just getting people to come in.
Yeah. Well, that's what you want. I mean, if I was going to be a wrestling trainer, that's the kind of trainer I'd want. I'd want to tell me that. And I mean, he would tell me I'm shit because I know I'd be shit. But that's the kind of guy that you would want. And like I said, yeah, I mean, I read somewhere, like you said, I know he's had a guest spot at the Performance Centre, hasn't he, as well? So that must have been valuable, him going there and he can bring back that knowledge as well. Moving on as well, I did see, did you wrestle as well for H2O?
I wrestled one show it was like a student show at H2O.
Yeah, what was that like? Because we've had a few people. I think Colin himself has actually told us to check H2O out. Was that a good experience for you?
Yeah, H2O is obviously known for hardcore stuff. Tremont owns it, I guess. But being able to work there was good. Being able to go in front of completely different fans, completely different atmosphere. I obviously didn't work a hardcore match because that's stupid, but it was really good having a different perspective from the trainers, I guess. There, really good guys like Preacher. Being able to give you a different look at things is really good. Yeah. And everyone there is super nice too. Everyone there is super professional.
Yeah, Colin's told us a few times, hasn't he, Colin, to check H2O out. So it's a company on our radar to check out. I did see as well, you did an interview before. Obviously, you talked about your wrestling style. And obviously, you're 20, people are going to think, oh, this kid's going to come in, do all the flips and shit. But you are a fan of the wrestling, aren't you? Actually, say Matt Bass, you would say, or the wrestling of it. Who were guys you What was some of your impressions on that then?
I would say I'm more of a fan of like someone like Seth Rollins, someone who can do everything, someone who can be a striker, who can be a ground wrestler, who can be a flyer if you want to. Yeah. Like I'll do a springboard knee, whatever, nothing crazy. Like I can do flying moves. I'm very athletic, but I don't want to do that in my career. I don't want to be someone who's, he does flips, whatever, because it hurts. It's going to shorten my career. And it's not necessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people do flips now. It's okay, it's another guy doing a flip.
Yeah.
That's another thing with Dan as of late, and he's always kind of preached it, but recently he's really been working on, because he's a amateur wrestler when he was younger, so he knows all that. He's been really trying to work on us with teaching us like real amateur moves, because everyone's doing all this athletic, flippy, whatever stuff. If we can switch it to this real whatever, it's like, oh wow, they stand out. They're actually doing something different.
Yeah. Which is, like you said, kind of the people that stand out to me who can do it really well are Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, Aleister Black,
Yes.
those kind of guys who, and Shinsuke, for example, they can do a lot with not doing much, if that makes sense. Where if you
Yeah.
can just make a knee strike look devastating, that to me looks better than a 450 splash just for the
Right.
sake of it. So nowadays
Okay.
it's becoming less like how many flips you can do and more like how realistic you can make something look.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm completely with that. I'm huge on Aleister Black as well. I'm huge on Seth. I'm huge on Shinsuke because I love those strikes that can look
Mm.
impactful. I'm big on kicks. I'm big on knees. Big on punches.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a good place to put them in, just
Yeah.
like there's a good place to put flip stuff in.
Mm. Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that 100%, man. I absolutely am. I'm the same. There's a time and a place for the flips, like you say. I'm a fan of like they said, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins. I mean, I grew up on Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat and people like that. You know, that's what I love.
I think what takes me out of it sometimes is when I know to some guys it is easy to do, but when it looks so easy in the ring that anybody could do it. Like what I always like about Pac is when he goes up for is it the Black Arrow he calls it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he stands there for a few seconds to get his balance. He's looking around to make sure there's no one else there. It looks like a struggle to be able to pull the move off, and when he does hit it, it means something. But there's some people who can do about 5 flips in 5 seconds, and it's like, well, it didn't look hard to you to do. And do you know what I mean?
I completely agree. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can do that anytime.
You're in a fight. It should look like a
Yeah.
struggle.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd kill myself if I tried to do. I can't even do a forward roll. Never mind a flip.
Yeah.
I'd finish myself off. So I did notice as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do you take a little bit of MJF into your character as well?
Yeah, I would say so. To be fair, I never knew who MJF was until he showed up at AEW.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then I saw him like, oh, maybe I should watch more of his promos. But yeah, I would say there's a bit of that in there. I think it's similar but very different. I think we're both we think we're better than everyone, rich, whatever, but I think he's more of I don't even know how to. I'm more of a frat boy douchebag rich kid. He's more of not fancy. He's not fancy, but you know what I mean.
MJF, his character is a manipulative sociopath douchebag, whereas you seem like you're a bit more, like you said, a bit of a frat boy. There is a difference. What would happen if MJF and yourself were to get into a promo battle? What do you reckon you two would get along, or would you clash heads because you're so similar in ways?
It's a good question. I think we would get along until eventually we would clash heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So you both decided to turn on each other.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll find out.
Hey,
well, I mean, imagine that tag team as well. I mean, that'd be one hell of a tag team. But speaking of tag teams as well, tell me about the Golden Era, because I'm very intrigued.
The Golden Era. Oof. Golden Era has been started probably almost 2 years ago. I've gone through it's been a revolving door of people. I've had a couple different tag team partners who have come and gone, but now it's me and Brett Waters.
Yeah.
Very similar. He's also young. He's 19.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good wrestler. He really has the mind for wrestling more than I do. Even I have the mind for marketing, character, that kind of stuff. He really understands wrestling, which is good. It's good that we can have those two meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the Golden Era is just our characters. It's pretty much like a frat, and we think we're better, and we are better. So,
how much of what we see when you're in the ring is you though? Because like there's the old saying, it's just yourself in the ring but turned up. How much of it is you, and how much did you have to turn it up?
So I wish I could keep it kayfabe and be like, yeah, I'm always a dick.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not at all like that. Like, it doesn't mean much coming from me, but like, I'm a really nice guy.
Yeah.
So the whole turning up to 11, whatever, I would say is true, because people, when they first meet me, when they first look at me, they're like, oh, he's a pretty boy douchebag, whatever. I've had so many people tell me that, like, oh, I hated you when I first saw you, whatever. I'm like, yeah. So I was like, it's a lot easier to just go with what people already believe than make them believe something else.
Sure.
Yeah. But like I said, yeah. I mean, Callum's a pretty boy douchebag as well, so I totally
used to be back when I was Goldy's age, maybe.
But could we see Golden Era in Synergy? Has anything been mentioned to Colin, or is that something you'd like to do?
Yeah, 100%. I would like to. Hopefully, we'll win the Monster Factory Tag Team Championship soon, and we can bring it over. Like I brought the MF Network Championship over.
Yes, man, you did. Yeah, I mean, yeah. What was it like? What's it like holding that title as well? I mean, again, Monster Factory, the history. That's special to hold the title.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. This title in itself has a strange, cool history. Originally, it was kind of like I forget what it was called. It was like the MF Live Championship, and it was always defended on like Facebook Live. So it was almost like the 24/7 championship before the 24/7 championship. As long as someone was on Facebook Live recording it, it was being defended, like the hardcore championship, I guess. That's not what it is so much now, but it's always cool holding a championship, especially at somewhere like the Monster Factory.
Oh yeah.
And being able to bring it to somewhere like Synergy and show it off, and to people who've never, I mean, everyone's heard of the Monster Factory, but for people who haven't really seen the Monster Factory or know that much about it, be able to introduce it to all the people on IWTV.
Well, that's it, man. Yeah, I mean, you represented them at Synergy. You know, that's a big moment. And obviously, talking about Golden Era Synergy, we was trying to get. I spoke to TJ Crawford a couple of nights ago as well, and he's trying to bring the Beach Bums back to Synergy. So you know, we're going to have to push Colin. We're going to have to get that, maybe a Golden Era versus the Beach Bums match going. I mean, that's something I'd want to see. So we'll try and get that going. But obviously, moving on then, like you said, you're only 20. Your future's bright, man. I mean, is there an end goal? Is there anywhere in particular you want to go? I mean, obviously, you're going to travel around and ply your trade, but is there an end goal?
I feel like if anyone ever gets into wrestling, their end goal has to be WWE. That's what people don't start. I mean, I can't say that, but like the majority of people don't start wrestling because they're watching whatever, GCW, whatever. It's not like, oh, I really want to end up there. They start off watching WWE.
Yeah.
So obviously that's where you're going to want to be. But that being said, there are going to be steps to that, whether it's Impact, ROH, whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go through that. Also, AEW, I would love.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Well,
that was going to be my next question.
yeah.
AEW Dark is doing some great work at the moment with younger independent talents during the pandemic. To me, AEW Dark's one of the best things to watch every week, just because there's so many good people coming through the system. So I'm guessing AEW Dark or something is definitely like on your immediate future list of things to do.
Yeah, 100%. If I got a call to do it tomorrow, I'd go fly out right now.
Yeah.
A couple Monster Factory guys just went down there a couple weeks ago. Royal Money just had a match on AEW Dark, which is cool. So that is, I don't want to say my next step, but that's what I want to do. Yeah.
It's one of those things where even if you don't end up getting signed straight away by it, your stock rises so much just by being affiliated with AEW for that one match.
Yes.
There's so many people we've interviewed just because we've seen them on Dark, and they've gone on to do bigger things on the independents just from that one match. So it seems like it's a bit of a hot ticket right now in independent wrestling to get that Dark match. But just going back to you saying you want to be in WWE, I'm going to guess like one of your dream matches would be Seth Rollins if you got there.
Yeah, 100%. Seth Rollins. Just that clash of, I think, personalities and just the similar work type.
Yeah.
It would be really fun.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. And Aleister Black as well. I mean, that's another guy we're against. I think the future is very bright, man. But before we wrap up as well, I mean, we always ask, you obviously talking WWE and all that, but is coming to like the UK something you'd like to do as well?
Yeah, I would love to go everywhere. And the UK has such a distinct wrestling form that I think would be really beneficial to be able to experience and really learn from. And I'll just get your name everywhere. Well, 100%. I would love to go over there.
The good thing is, dude, if you come over to the UK, these arrogant pretty boy gimmicks, especially if you're from America, do really well and get good heat. So I'm sure you'd do well. So
Dude, you'll never leave the country. Honestly, you'll be here forever. They will love you. And also, obviously, there's the British strong style. Obviously, I guess that's something that'd appeal to you as well, that sort of smash mouth style.
Yeah. I to an extent, there's a fine line between making stuff look good and making stuff real that I don't like to cross.
New Japan does sometimes.
Yeah. I've crossed the line. I've had the line crossed. I'm always safe. I would rather hit someone light than hit someone hard. But I've been clocked a couple of times, and I'm not a fan of that.
Honestly, I'm totally with you. I mean, it's great when you're in the crowd watching it. For example, obviously we haven't had a show for over a year, but one of the last shows I went to was Progress, and the main event, Walter was in the main event, and I was on a balcony, and when he chopped his opponent, Erie, I think it was, I genuinely thought a gunshot had gone off. It was that loud. So I'm with you 100%. I was grabbing my chest when he slapped his opponent. So I'm totally with you on that one, man. I really am. But I think you would, like Callum said, I think you would fit in the UK scene perfectly because, like you said, that arrogant pretty boy, I'm better than you gimmick. UK fans would love that because they would give you so much heat and stick. You would lap it up, man. It'd be you wouldn't want to leave. Seriously, you wouldn't want to leave the country.
Yes, that's gonna have to be one of my next steps. Get over there.
I mean, and one final question as well, obviously, because a lot of people, when we ask them, they always say this as well. But is Japan somewhere as well you'd like to end up?
Yeah, but I would love to be in Japan. It's just so far.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah.
You know, like it would also be another great experience because it's once again just this completely different style that I love. Like I love New Japan. I love the realism of it being a sport.
Yep.
But it's just so far.
I'm with you, mate, on that. I hate traveling. I hate driving to work, and it's a 15-minute drive. So I traveling to Japan, I'm totally with you.
What's crazy is Kevin Kelly, who's done a seminar or two at the Monster Factory. He's a really nice guy, really good to talk to. He travels back and forth and back and forth. It's insane because he has his family here. So he goes Japan for whatever, a week, comes back for a week, goes back. I can't imagine.
Couldn't do that.
I'm with you on that one, man. We went to All In Chicago, and I complained to Callum because I had to have an extra 2 hours on our journey because we flew from London to Barcelona to Chicago. I didn't realise I was doing the Barcelona bit until it was at the airport. So I was pissed off because I had an extra 2 hours on an airplane. So I'm totally with it, man. I really am.
He was complaining. It was on our way to All In, and you still found something to complain about. It blew my fucking mind.
But on that note, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. Like I said, Colin spoke very highly of you. We wanted to get you on. We think you're going to be a mega star. It's great watching you. Synergy this past weekend, was it 12/21? The last show, sorry, was brilliant. I've watched it a few times, actually. I've now got the IWTV app on my phone. Seriously, man, there's a bright future there. Keep doing what you're doing. But before you go, do you want to plug any social medias, any upcoming events as well?
Instagram and Twitter is at the David Goldy, Goldy. Not I hate when people spell it wrong. Facebook, David Goldschmidt. YouTube, it's probably in my social media somewhere. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate being on.
No, man, we really appreciate your time, man. Like I said, we like to bring people back as well. So maybe in a few months' time, I'll shoot you a DM, get you back on, and we'll chat some more.
Yeah, I'll bring Brett on next time.
Awesome.
Yes,
man.
Yeah, we'll get you both on, and we'll push that golden era debut with Colin as well. But for now, thank you so much for your time, mate. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Goldy, we are Ringsiders.